Hello, 6th graders. Welcome to Big Ideas Math, Section 4.4, Polygons in the Coordinate Plane, Activity. Pause while you write Section 4.4, Activity in your math notebook. Pause again while you write today's activity objective in your math notebook. Today's objective is plot ordered pairs in the coordinate plane. Today we'll be starting on Activity 1, which is on page 91 in your Record and Practice Journal. Finding distances on a map. The coordinate grid shows a portion of a city. Each square on the grid represents 1 square mile. Letter A. A public library is located at 4-5. City Hall is located at 7-5. Our job is to plot and label these points. So remember, when you plot and label points, you always go on the x-axis, which is horizontal, first. So we're going to plot and label the library first, so we go across to 4 and up to 5. So that makes our point right here. And we're going to label it L for library. And then our City Hall, we go across to 7 and up to 5, and that's right there, and we'll label it C for City Hall. And then it asks, how far is the public library from City Hall? So we need to take a look at how many spaces apart they are on the grid. So we could draw a line, 1, 2, 3 spaces, and we need to remember that each square on the grid is 1 square mile. So 3 squares equals 3 miles. Not 3 square miles because it's a line, so it's just linear miles. Letter C says a stadium is located 4 miles from the public library. Give the coordinates of several possible locations of the stadium and justify your answers by graphing. So we just need to make some possible places where the stadium could be. They need to be 4 miles from our red library dot. So anything that's 4 spaces away from the library is a good location for the stadium, because it doesn't tell us which direction it needs to be. So we can count north, 1, 2, 3, 4 squares, or we can count east 4 squares, or we can count south 4 squares, or we can count west 4 squares. And any of those would work. We could also count diagonally, any direction. Those would work too, but I just gave you several possible locations. Now our job here was to give the coordinates of those locations, so we need to write those down. So our north stadium location would be at 4, 9. And when you write your coordinates, remember to put parentheses around them and put a comma between the numbers so it doesn't look like a 49. And then our east stadium location would be 8, 5. And our south stadium location would be 4, 1. And our west stadium location would be 0, 5. So those are just some possibilities. So your assignment is going to be to connect the 3 locations of the public library, City Hall, and the stadium using your answers in part C. What shapes are formed? So you should really use different colored pencils to connect the different stadium locations to see which different shapes you get. So you're going to want to use all 4 of the different stadium locations and connect each one to the public library and to the City Hall. Your assignment for this lesson is to complete letter D of Activity 1 on page 91 in your Record and Practice Journal. Be prepared to share during our next class. Please remember to earn credit for viewing this flipped lesson. You need to complete your exit slip back at the website. You also need to come to our next class prepared with the journal pages that we did during the flipped lesson or any other work that we did for the flipped lesson completed. You also need to be prepared with any work that was assigned in the flipped lesson completed, and be ready with any questions you have for your teacher, and as always, have a good attitude. We'll see you tomorrow in class. Remember to earn credit for viewing this flipped lesson. You must complete your exit slip. You must come to our next class prepared with your journal pages or any other work that we did during the flipped lesson completed, and you need to be prepared with any work that was assigned during the flipped lesson completed. Be prepared with any questions you have about the content of the flipped lesson and a good attitude. We'll see you in class tomorrow.